The 3-3 between the Prowlers and Scarecrows wraps up with a Sunday rubber match from Topeka. Good afternoon, everybody. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. They tried to keep me down. They couldn't keep me down too long. I'm back and ready to go. I wish you could say the same for all of the Prowlers, but unfortunately that bug going through the locker room continuing to hit the players. Austin Federley, Ben Brockway, Reed Cooper among the notables who did not make the trip from the hotel to the arena this afternoon, and plenty more question marks on the roster. We'll see how much time everybody's going to be able to handle as the team continues to battle through this illness that's been running rampant through the locker room all weekend long. But on the ice, a pair of games so far. 5-1 for the Prowlers on Friday, 5-1 for the Scarecrows last night, and we'll see who can take the rubber match here on Sunday afternoon. We'll have much more coming up for you on the pregame show next. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to Topeka. That's right. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Prowlers and Scarecrows ready to wrap up their 3-game set this weekend. And while I may be back, not everyone is back. I did mention it on the pregame open that there are a few players that are still under the weather, still back there at the hotel. We are wishing those guys well, and hopefully they can work on getting themselves healthy and should be all back to 100% by next weekend when the Prowlers visit the Binghamton Black Bears. But first, they'll have to grind out this one here tonight against the Scarecrows. Let's take a look back at last night's game against Topeka, and one that really did not go the Prowlers' way. Again, it was talked about a lot after the game by Chris Paulin and Matt Graham in their post-game media availabilities about all the players that were either unavailable to go from the start or the players that got sick mid-game. Again, talking about Cooper and talking about Vinny DeCumbis. Alex Johnson missed a large chunk of that game last night. The Scarecrows took advantage of a 5-1 win behind Scott Koash's 3-point night. Danil Brizgalov was fantastic for Topeka as they get their first win over Port Huron in franchise history. For the Prowlers, they did see Jamison Bourque get his first pro experience after replacing Reed Cooper, who again left following the opening period due to illness. He made 15 saves in what was a very, very tough spot for him to be in, and Coach Paulin was certainly complimentary of the way that Bourque played and coming in that situation. When you take a look at the standings now over in the Empire Division, where these teams sit, where the Prowlers have now fallen double-digit points behind the Binghamton Black Bears for the top spot in the Empire. They are still 10 points up on the Blue Ridge Bobcats, who do have 2 games in hand on the Prowlers. Scarecrows right there, Hack Tricks right there as well, as those 3 teams will likely be in the mix battling for those last 2 playoff spots come the end of the season. We'll see how long all of that stays tight. Meanwhile, the Watertown Wolves have kind of fallen out of it a little bit here after a tough stretch, and we'll see if they can get themselves back into the race later on this season. But nobody else in the Empire Division is in action tonight. It is just the Prowlers and the Scarecrows, just one other game in the FPHL, the Monroe Moccasins and the Athens Rock Lobsters. Take a look at some players to watch here for tonight. Starting with the Scarecrows, we go with a guy who was not available last night. And that is Elijah Wilson, who this season, 13 points in 11 games. From what I was told, undisclosed injury kept him out of the lineup last night, but he is back here tonight. And those 4 power play goals leading this Scarecrows club. On the other side for the Prowlers, our player to watch is someone that I know is healthy, and that is Matt Graham, who scored the Prowlers' only goal in last night's game, 16 points in 17 games. Leads the team with 8 goals this year. And again, Graham, we know he's healthy, and that's pretty much the reason why he is our player to watch. Should get a lot of ice time tonight. And you'll certainly see a lot of number 51. We will take you down to ice level for tonight's national anthem and the rest of the pregame ceremonies.
Scarecrow fans, please welcome onto the ice as they honor America and present tonight's colors, the Topeka High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC. That's correction, it's Pack 3010 presenting the colors. Fans, rise and remove your hats as we welcome Topeka's capital city chorus as they perform the Canadian national anthem. Now fans, let's welcome from Lawrence Public Schools, led by Lissette DeBoard Billy Mills Middle School, as they perform tonight's national anthem.
We get both the American and Canadian national anthems for this game between a pair of American teams, the Port Huron Prowlers and the Topeka Scarecrows. You may have noticed that I completely skipped over our projected lines. That was not a mistake. I actually had no idea until about 5 minutes ago who would actually be able to go, who would be in, who's out, a definitive list. So I didn't want to throw in a projected lineup because I had no idea what we were going to get for the Prowlers tonight as far as players that are healthy. So we appreciate you for sticking with us. I believe the Prowlers are playing one man short, if my counting is correct. No Ben Brockway, no Austin Federley. Dylan Marty, of course, still on the IR. No Lucas Lockney. Matt Gellerman, of course, still on the IR. So this shorthanded Prowler squad will get to work with 5 defensemen and the normal 10 forwards. Let's take a look at our starting lineup, which I do have for you here tonight. And it will be Matt Graham, Bobby Price, and Reggie Millette starting up front. Looks to be the top line for the Prowlers tonight. The Massachusetts connection, Brian Parsons and Brett Lockhart on defense. And Bailey Huber between the pipes for the Prowlers. That takes us to our starting goaltending matchup. It will be Huber against Daniil Brizgalov. And then now Brizgalov again last night, a strong game for him as he made 32 saves on 33 shots. He has won 4 straight starts. Meanwhile, Huber got the win on Wednesday against the Indiana Sentinels to bring his record to 2-2. He'll try to move to 3-2 here tonight and give his squad a strong performance. Huber was one of the guys who didn't make it out of the hotel last night for the game. So hopefully the sickness has passed him by and he can deliver a big performance for his squad. We're all set to go here tonight, Prowlers and Scarecrows. Sunday fun day here in Topeka. Thanks so much for joining us. Matt Graham looking for it in the corner. Tried to cycle up the half wall. Instead, it's taken away by the Scarecrows. Lockhart back in his own end, off the glass, out of the zone. Fired cross corner by Gordon Whalen, number 23. And Brian Parsons puts it right back out. Port Huron in the midst of a change here early on in period 1. Avery Smith hard off the back glass in Prowlers territory. Nick Favaro around towards Connor Bazal. Scored his first pro goal on Friday night. First goal of the weekend. He had some family in the building as well for that, so a special moment for Connor Bazal. As Alex Johnson taken in by Avery Smith. Those two tangle up. Bucell able to slide it to Bazal. Popped it out, just slipped out of the zone, and Alex Norwinski rims it right back in. Norwinski, one of a few Scarecrows on lengthy point droughts coming into this weekend. Corey Checo was able to end his 8-game point drought with a goal last night, his first of the year, but Norwinski up to 11 games without a point, and Doug Blaisdell now up to 10. It's a very top-heavy Topeka Scarecrows team. You have those top 4 guys, Koash, Sneath, Wilson, and Koch, as Huber makes his first save of the game. And then really everybody else not giving you too much offensively, as those 4 guys coming into the weekend had more points than the rest of the roster combined. Here comes Blake Anderson, 1-on-2. Tecumseh hustling to join him. Anderson will circle back with his team in the change. Johnson couldn't bring in the pass from Lockhart. They get it up to Matt Graham with Price going to the net. Graham tried to slip it there. That was cut off by Papa Petros. Back the other way, Connor Lind on the left wing side with Koash going to the net. Dropped it off for Inlow. Lockhart slides it towards Price. all the way across. Millette hustling to it, trying to gain a step on Papapetros. Millette spinning back on the half wall. 2 Scarecrows on him. Price trying to pull it out of the pile. It'll poke it back to the point, but he split the 2 defensemen there, Favaro and Parsons. Favaro gets to the red line and backhands it in. Brizgalov out of his goal crease to play it. Hunter Hall able to get it across for Lair Potakin, who made his Scarecrows debut last night. Fed a pass towards Hall, just out of his reach. Avery Smith working his way up high, hands it off. Shot from the outside, missed everything. Potakin able to keep it in at the point. Favaro up towards Hakala. Blaisdell pinched in to keep it alive. Bucell out to the middle to Bazal. Now Brian Parsons with some skating room. He'll move with it. Up comes Parsons to the outside. Bucell claps it towards the net, high and wide. Swept back out, and flying in is Clark on a breakaway. Save, Huber! And that's the type of game the Prowlers are going to need from their goaltender. With the way that their team is feeling, the effects of the sickness still today. And Bailey Huber coming up with a big save on the Scarecrow's second shot of the night. Or the afternoon, I should say. Oregon had his stick chopped in half. He has to head to the bench. Meanwhile, Topeka working in the offensive end. Papapetros gave it back to Gagnon. A drive, missed wide. Johnson fresh off the bench, able to get to that puck first. Papapetros back towards the net, slid along the ice and past it. Papapetros tried to make a pass, came back to him. He'll get it deep, in low, or Gagnon. Looking towards Lind. Papapetros pinches in deep. DeCumbis slid it to Anderson, has Lockhart with him. Lockhart going to the bench. Anderson all by himself, couldn't get it down deep. Prowler spilling off the bench to defend this rush. Lind reaches out for it, trying to one-hand it across, and Parsons down on a knee, able to stymie that pass. Bobby Price looking towards Graham. He was knocked down. We're past 5 minutes gone here in period 1. Still no whistles yet. Lind chased by Price. Slid it up towards Blaisdell. Fed it toward Norwinski. Smith able to tip it in. Parsons hustling after the loose puck. Favaro kept it moving. Got past Millette and Checo. Bazal with a steal. He steps in. Connor Bazal throws on the brakes. Hands off for Millette. Pulls up. Tried to slide it across, and Oregon had to back out. Smith touched it on. Smith heading towards the net. Unable to get the pass to him was Hall. Kept in the zone. Oregon able to slide it out to Bazal. Has Millette, gives it to him. Millette outside try, kicked out, and the rebound didn't get all the way to Bazal. Hit a Scarecrow defenseman as Bazal was crashing that crease. That should be the first credited shot of the game for the Prowlers. We'll see if they put it up here on the big board. We approach 7 minutes gone here in period 1. Hakala with a diving effort just to get it out of the zone. Scarecrow's trying to bring it right back in. Delayed off sides though. Favaro off for Johnson. Wheeling ahead, right up the gut. Johnson turns the corner. Comes all the way around to Luke James. Norwinski back this way to Elijah Wilson, back in the lineup after missing last night's game. Gagnon gave it up. Long lead passes towards Wilson. He tips it in, and Topeka will get a big change. 7.5 minutes gone in this one. Don't believe we've had a whistle yet. In low for Koash, streaking in, he scores! Scott Koash, the leading goal scorer for this Scarecrows club, gets the scoring started tonight. As Koash able to work his way through 3 Prowlers and get a good shot off on the short side high to the glove of Bailey Huber. It looks like that went under Huber's glove.
Scarecrows goal! Scored by number 18, Scott Koash.
Nick Favaro flags it down in his own end. Prowlers playing from behind. Koash dumps it in off of Favaro's stick.
He shoots.
Tossed all the way out. Millette hands off for Price. Wheeling in. Price the shot kicked out by Brizgalov. And Koash grabbed the rebound ahead of Graham. Puck comes all the way down. No icing. Topeka getting a full change going as Johnson fires right back ahead. Johnson slides in to the outside. A shot swallowed up by Brizgalov. We'll get a whistle and a face-off. Scott Koash, the only goal so far. Prowlers trailing 1-0 early on the Sunday matinee. This is Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
Back here in Topeka, 1-0 Scarecrows. According to the in-arena shot clock, they are leading in shots on goal 2-0, which means the Prowlers have not been credited with a shot on goal in the first 8 minutes and 20 seconds. As you take a look at the Prowlers bench, certainly missing some guys this afternoon. I hope that everyone down there on the bench is feeling all right. Face-off will be to Brizgalov's left. As the Prowlers have gotten at least 2 shots that I believe should be counted as shots on goal, but haven't yet here in the arena. At least one of them was counted on the FPHL website. According to the league website, shots are 3-3. Here's a stuff attempt by Bazal. And Brizgalov alertly able to get to the post and cover up. As Connor Bazal just able to knock down the clearing attempt and get an opportunity there right at the side of the post. Prowlers switching up the line here. They have James Anderson and DeCumbus out there right now. And there we go. We've had the shots on goal here in the arena. At the point, it's Favaro. He'll slip it down the boards towards Blaisdell. James right on him. Slipped it to Norwinski. Tapped ahead. Knocked out of the air by Wilson. Chasing Johnson. One-hands it around to his D partner, Favaro. James ahead looking for DeCumbus. Blake Anderson took it away from Gagnon. Norwinski looks for an outlet pass. He's got it. Gagnon looking towards the net, flips it by on his backhand, swallowed up by Huber, and he'll cover up the rebound. Jordan Gagnon, a nice little play to himself on a sharp angle, and Huber stayed right with him the whole time. Draw will be to Huber's left. Inlow lined up right behind Koash. Koash won the faceoff that direction, but Inlow takes it up off the boards. Penalty coming up against Bobby Price. And the first power play of the game will go to the Scarecrows. Looks like hooking is the call. Price got his stick in there. Probably could have been Price or Graham, either way though. Prowlers shorthanded. Scarecrow's power play goes to work. Third best power play in the FBHL. Just one power play goal so far this weekend. Prowlers PK down at 9th in the league at 81.5%. Off this face off.
2 minutes for hooking.
Able to keep it in. Shot towards the net, and Huber's got it. And he'll hang on. Prowlers will switch up the killers. This power play for Topeka featuring Clark, Koash, Inlow, Whalen, and Gagnon. Gagnon walks the blue line, gave it over to Whalen. Looking towards the net. Stick handling. Bucell hustles out to him. Koash thinking about shooting. Tried to hand off for Gagnon, but slipped over the blue line and out of the zone. Inlow back in. Saucer pass. Anderson got his stick on it. Whalen sent it down and around towards Clark. Two Prowlers collapse on him. Gagnon all the way across. Koash couldn't get a shot away as Anderson tied him up. Here come the Prowlers shorthanded. Anderson. Inside out move. Favoro got a rip. And that just went wide. Not sure if it went off a Topeka stick or not. But now the Scarecrows have numbers the other direction. Inlow couldn't push around Johnson. Favaro came all the way back to grab the puck, and he sends it out of the zone. .44 seconds left on the penalty to Bobby Price as Wilson takes the missed exchange between Huber and Lockhart. Low towards the net, save Huber. Wilson down to Lind. Avery Smith lined up right in front. Smith after the puck in the corner, tried to center for Lind. Instead, Checo goes up high to Papapetros. Wilson, watched by James, sent it through, save Huber, puck's there, in some legs, and it's pushed wide. Johnson able to win the battle. Trying to clear, and he does, and that will take care of the rest of the penalty. They send a two-line pass all the way up to Checo. Tried to cycle it down deep, cut off. Millette able to one-hand it out of the zone. Price gloves it down as Graham going towards the cage. Price in front, and Graham just tipped it wide. Price swung it down deep. Comes to Millette. Looking back across, Parsons. All the way down low to Graham. Now Price swinging around the cage. Tried to give it off to Parsons, but a Topeka stick got in the way of that. And now a penalty coming up against Avery Smith as he threw a hit on Bobby Price in front of the Prowler bench. Roughing signaled against Smith, and now it's the Prowlers to their first man advantage of the night.
Fans, it's time for another media timeout, and it's our
We'll have that for you when we come back here on the PHP Network.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Go
Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Back here in Topeka, Prowlers going to the man advantage, and here's why. As you follow Bobby Price and Avery Smith off to the right of your screen, and Smith running Price right into that turnbuckle where the glass starts at the end of the Prowler bench. And Smith, 2 minutes for roughing. And Port Huron's man advantage goes to work. Currently ranked last in the FPHL at 12.7%. They do have one power play goal this weekend. Trying to get on the board here this afternoon. Graham couldn't pull it off the wall, and it's fired all the way down. Lockhart reverses for Favaro. It's Lockhart, Favaro, Johnson, Graham, and Millette on this power play. Here's a chance for Kowash, and it's blocked by Johnson as Cam Clark caused a disturbance shorthanded. Favaro working up. Drops it off for Millette. Graham slipped it down to Johnson. Looking in front. Gets it out to Lockhart. His shot stopped by Brizgalov, and Millette right there on the rebound as the Prowlers reset. Favaro floats it. Millette shot glove down by Brizgalov, and he'll hang on. A nice pass across there from Favaro to Millette. Little seam pass, and Brizgalov able to get over and flash the leather on Reggie Millette. Port Huron switching to a unit featuring Anderson, Bucell, Price, Organ, and Brian Parsons. Brian Parsons does have a power play goal in his career, though not usually featured on the man advantage, as Oregon's shot swallowed up by Brizgalov with Bucell right in front. The face-off will be to Brizgalov's left, just over the halfway point of this penalty to Avery Smith. Gagnon able to fire it all the way down off the boards. Under 7 to play in period 1. Scarecrows with a 1-0 lead. Oregon drops it off for Price. Anderson flying in. On the outside all the way around. All the way to the point. Oregon. Parsons walks in. He shoots. Save, rebound, and Brizgalov able to slide back to get the attempt from Anderson. And Daniil Brizgalov with another great save here. Take another look on our Elite Electric replay. Him sliding back as Anderson tried to tuck it in the corner. Off this face-off, Millette spun it down low to Graham. 20 seconds left on the Prowlers power play. Norwinski hustles after it, gets there and gets it down ice. And Huber has decided he'll cover up with Cam Clark bearing down on him. So likely That's it for the Prowlers power play, as both teams will start 0 for 1. Well, the Prowlers and Meyer are partnering for the Goals for Good program. Meyer donating for every Prowlers goal. So far, the Prowlers and Meyer have helped deliver over 3,200 meals to families in need in the St. Clair County area. Alex Johnson slides it up to Reggie Millette. Graham enters the offensive zone. Back pass for Millette. Smith is out of the box, and he picks off the pass to the point. Hall had it stolen away by Favaro, and then took a check from Lockhart. Dug away on the wall. Graham over to Lockhart. Gloves it down. Lead pass on the stick of Millette. Millette drops the shoulder. Gets to the cage! And a save, Brizgalov. Millette right back on it. Hakala couldn't make a play. Lynn trying to poke it out, but Oregon kept it alive, looking towards Hakala. That puck was bouncing and hopped over his stick. R2 Hakala with a backhander in. He'll head off for a change. We approach 5 minutes to go in period number 1, a 1-0 Scarecrows lead. Blake Anderson wheeling back in. His long-range try was blocked by the stick of Blaisdell. Here's Koash flying in, one-on-one against Favaro. Koash's shot over top of the net. Koash pulls it out of the corner. Up top and off the post. Papa Petros gets back to it. Plays it off the backboards. Koash. Lind tried to push it back out. Lind and Johnson come together on top of that puck. Lind gets it to the point. DDD pass, Papa Petros. Down low. In low, trying to fight through the checks of Decumbus. Bazal able to get it out. Knocked out with a high stick of a Topeka player, so Bazal the next one to play it. That means play can continue. Graham takes the pass fresh off the bench. Try to send it up to Millette. Too many Scarecrows in the way. And a drive from the outside, misses wide. Favaro up towards Graham. Got a floater along towards Price, taken away by Wilson, who's finished by Favaro. Oregon, cross ice feed. Price trying to wheel his way up. Back pedals, got it to Favaro. Indirect pass on the stick of Jamie Bucell. Walking in, centering pass, looking for Price. Comes down low, Bucell. Able to get a whack at it, but Brizgalov right there to cover up and get a whistle. We'll be right back. Still 1-0 Scarecrows in period 1 on this Sunday afternoon in Topeka.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys, here's a game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here in Topeka, about 3.5 left to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Scarecrows lead the Prowlers by a score of 1-0. Will Wiggleman back with you off the sick bed and back in the broadcast booth. We thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. The first of 2 3-3s the Prowlers have this season here in this building. They will also face the Scarecrows for 3-3 on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That was coming up in February. So this weekend we get the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And February again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3-3. Of course, you already know those games will be here on the PHP Network. Here's a centering pass out in front. Morik a whack. And Brizgalov's on top of it. Morik getting the business from Jacob Gagnon. And everybody still tangled up as Bucel and Koash having to be separated. Puck came off the backboards. Bucel able to center with Brizgalov swimming a little bit. And unfortunately for the Prowlers, couldn't get that one through as Brizgalov reset in time for Morik's opportunity. It's like this line, at least for this shift, Bucel, Bizal, and Morik, although the Prowlers switching things up to the top line, Graham, Price, and Millette. Graham has to lead the face-off, so Price will take it instead. Finally, puck is down, one back by Koash. Lind tried to backhand it ahead, cut off by Favaro. Graham hustling after the loose puck. Millette trying to work away from Gagnon. Koash came in there as well, knocked the puck away. Johnson gloves it down. To the outside, Millette whips it across and off a stick and out of play. There's a souvenir for the Topeka crowd.
We have a Christmas party over at Heritage Hall after the game, sponsored and run by the Vice High School.
Crowd that looks pretty strong here for a Sunday.
Player auction, $30 will get you in the door.
I'm told it's Pucks and Pups night or Pucks and Paws night here in Topeka. I do see one or two dogs around. Probably should be doing their Pucks and Pups night in March. Of course, that's a great event every year. Here's Blake Anderson wheeling through center into the offensive zone. Spun back, handed off to Organ, but the pass was behind him. Brizgalov stops it behind the net. Papa Petros. High flip out of the zone. Flag down by Lockhart. And he'll skate with it. Lockhart weaving through center. Gets back to it in the offensive end. Blaisdell got there ahead of Bizal. Bucel took a hard check. And Oregon recollects back in the neutral zone. 2 minutes left to go in period one. Bizal sends it in. Bucel cycled around for James. Bounced out by Justin Schmidt. This one will go all the way down and be an icing against Topeka. Player assistant coach Justin Schmidt getting a shift here. And he ices the puck. Prowlers with an opportunity down deep in the Scarecrows' end. Well, stick around for the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We finally do have Around the Empire for you. We'll also take a look at some storylines from around the FPHL, out-of-town scores, and more. It's all coming up on the PHP Network. Around the Empire, a couple days late, but better late than never, right? Too many men on the ice is called against the Scarecrows. And the Prowlers going to their second power play of this game. As Oregon worked it up You see 6 on the ice there, even after that guy jumped. They'll send in low to serve it. Let's see if we can get a better look on this angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, there's all 6 for you. Count the black jerseys. And in low will serve. Well, if the Prowlers don't score here before the end of the period, this power play will leak into period number 2. And their top unit out there right now. Lockhart able to block the clearing attempt. Port Huron trying to set up. Graham tried to wheel it around, but Gagnon cut it off. Favaro keeps it in at the line. Graham all the way out high. Favaro takes the pass from Lockhart. Lockhart to Johnson. One-timer kicked out by Brizgalov, and it sent the length of the ice.
Less than a minute to play in the first
Final minute of period 1 as Favaro wheels around his net. Favaro works in. Inside out move on his backhand save. Brizgalov. Puck's there. Bucell able to lift Brizgalov's stick and keep the Prowlers on the attack. Lockhart just did keep that one in at the line. Millette turning towards the net. Takes the shot and reaching out to glove it was Brizgalov. I think that one was going wide, but he's able to snare it. And we'll get another face-off here. Prowlers up on shots right now according to the in-arena score clock, 10-6. Getting their opportunities, but Danil Brizgalov has been strong so far this afternoon. R2 Hakala will take the face-off against Scott Koash. Off the draw, Hakala tried to bounce it up to the point, got through everyone, and out of the zone. 18 seconds left to go. Oregon looking for one last rush. Oregon cuts back, gets into the offensive zone. Bounced around towards Price. Price towards the net. That was blocked. And Whalen will clap it as far as Price, and that will do it for period number 1. Prowlers will have 34 seconds of power play time to work with when we begin the second period. But after 20 minutes of play, Scarecrows up 1-0. Shots on goal in that opening frame favoring the Prowlers 10-6. And again, Port Huron trailing this one 1-0. Still some pleasantries being exchanged before both teams leave the ice. And once again, coming up on the intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we will go around the Empire, talk about some FPHL storylines. Big signing today from the back-to-back defending champs. Also look at some out-of-town scores. We will send it back to our McMorran studios with Brady Beaton. And all that and more coming up right here on the PHP Network Intermission Report. So don't go anywhere. Lots to do before they come back out for period number 2. Well, come out to Wings Etc. this Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. for the bi-weekly Port Huron Prowlers Coaches Show. Hear from a player, hear from a member of the coaching staff, hosted by myself, Will Wiggleman. We will chat candidly with our Prowlers, and should be a fun time. Always is a fun time at Wings Etc. Next one is December the 3rd at 6:30 p.m. So we hope to see you there. If you can't make it, watch on the PHP network. But if you are there, make sure you wear your Prowlers gear, and you can get 10% off your order from Wings Etc. You can get 10% off your order from Wings Etc. when you wear Prowlers gear anytime. Just be sure to ask for that discount. But Prowlers Coaches Show at Wings Etc. coming up this Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. We hope to see you there, and if you're there in person, you could win some swag, could ask some questions as well. Be sure to come on out to Wings Etc. for the Prowlers Coaches Show. 1-0 Scarecrows through 20 minutes of play. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network, and we'll send it back to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. High five?
Yeah, hon, we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
PHP Network, your Prowlers trailing to Topeka 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Brady Beaton back here in the McMorran studios, but earlier today, and Will able to take a look around the Empire Division, see what's happening all around the Port Huron Prowlers. So we'll send it over to that, and let's take a look at what's happening in the Empire Division.
Let's start with a Friday one-off in Watertown. Closing seconds of the first, it's 1-0 Sentinels. Ashton Colazzo steps into his first pro goal. 2-0 Indiana. Second period, 23 seconds after the Wolves get on the board, FM Michigan ties it up. Third period, tied again. How about Michigan again? The only goal of the third as Watertown pulled out a close win. Scarecrows ended a 20-day hiatus as they visited Baton Rouge. Late in the first, tied at 1, Cam Clark in his Scarecrows debut after the trade from Binghamton gives his team the lead. Second period, Avery Smith sweeps one from the outside. Ed Coffey's going to want that one back as the Scarecrows shook off the rust and picked up a 2-goal win. They rematched the next night. Late in the second, score untied by Jake Cox. But in the third, TJ Sneath able to tie it back up at 3-3 with his second of the game. And this one would need overtime.
Gagnon across finds Cam Clark. Clark looking. Passed across for Wilson. Wilson cutting towards the top of the slot. Shot goal! Elijah Wilson buries it and scores here against his former team, making it a 4-3 Scarecrows victory.
Elijah Wilson capped a 3-point night against his former team to give Topeka the sweep. Prowlers were in Virginia visiting the Bobcats for the second time in 3 weeks. First period on Friday. Here comes Brett Morick. First pro goal for Morick, and that breaks the ice. Skip to the third, it's 3-0 now. Blake Anderson with some nice hands in front. That's his third of the night, his first pro hat trick, and an ensuing melee that resulted in 30 minutes of penalties. But Port Huron was able to ride out a 4-1 win. Blue Ridge flipped the script the next night. Second period's 2-0 Bobcats. Here comes Carson Andrioli, tucking home his second of the night. Later in the period, Daniel Klinecki, his second, makes it 4-0 as the Bobcats get their revenge to earn the split. Hat-tricks and Black Bears got to renew pleasantries. We start in Binghamton on Friday. Second period's 2-1 Black Bears. Austin Durazio with a shot from the outside. Hat-tricks challenged for goaltender interference. They'd end up losing the challenge, putting Binghamton right back on the power play, where Mac Jansen would score 16 seconds later, his second of the night. Third period, a 1-goal game again, and Jansen, the hat-trick goal. Black Bears pull it out behind Jansen's 4-point evening. They head to Danbury the next night. Late in the first, 1-0 Black Bears. Dan Stone to guess who? Jansen, his league-high 14th of the season. A few minutes later, tic-tac-toe passing CJ Stubbs to Austin Thompson. Binghamton gave the hat-tricks no chance as they rolled on the road. Transitioning to Thanksgiving Eve, these teams met once again in bingo. Second period, 2-1 hat-tricks. Johnny Ruiz off the pass from Drew Welsh makes it 3-1 Danbury. Late in the frame, it's 3-2 now. Here comes Durazio with a rip, his second of the night. And then 19 seconds later, CJ Stubbs with his second puts the Black Bears in the lead. Both Durazio and Stubbs completed their hat tricks amidst 5-point nights, and Binghamton gets yet another win. Also on Wednesday, Sentinels visited Port Huron. It's 2-1 in the second. Lucas Lockney finds Matt Graham on the net drive, and that makes it 3-1 Prowlers on Graham's second of the period. Then, Prowlers on the power play. Reggie Millette with a long-range wrister that finds the twine. His first game back off the IR. Port Huron used a 4-goal second period to pick up 3 points. Wrapping things up with the Bobcats visiting PD on Wednesday. Final minute of the first, it's 1-0 Ice Cats. Here's Trevor Lord with a power play goal to make it 2-0 heading into the intermission. Second period, up comes Dustin Jessot flying in, and the Ice Cats didn't give Blue Ridge much. They took the win on Thanksgiving Eve. Taking a look at the standings, Black Bears now have an 8-point lead on the Prowlers at the top. Scarecrows dangerous with all the games in hand that they have on the rest of that middle group. Still a long season left to go, and big points are on the table in Topeka. Stick around. Second period action is coming up on the PHP Network.
Back here on the PHP Network, and that's a look at the Empire Division. Port Huron right now pretty solidly in second place. Again, Binghamton playing some darn good hockey, but your Prowlers will get a crack at them next weekend when they head out to take on the Black Bears. Still more for you on the first intermission report. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Prowler Hockey right here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers Hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers Hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to Topeka. Prowlers trailing the Scarecrows by a score of 1-0 through 20 minutes of play. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Before we continue on with this one, let's take a look around the FPHL, and we start with our FPHL storylines, and we start with one that happened last night as Hugo Koch picked up a 2-game suspension after his slew foot here against the Prowlers in last night's game. The Scarecrows are expected to appeal that suspension. He is at least serving tonight, but they will try to appeal that suspension so that he won't have to miss the Scarecrows' next game. Koch team leading 12 assists in 12 games this season. Carson Baptiste has been activated by the Blue Ridge Bobcats, acquired from the Motor City Rockers back in May to complete the Hunter Hall trade from last year. 20 points in 21 games with the Rockers last season. Also spent quite a bit of time with the Peoria Rivermen of the SPHL, and Baptiste back in action, and that's a big boost for the Bobcats offense. And the big signing that was announced earlier today, Kyle Steffen is returning to the Binghamton Black Bears. Back-to-back Commissioners Cup champion with the Black Bears. 37 points on 15 goals and 22 assists in 38 games last year for Steffen, and a Black Bears squad that has already looked scary this year has gotten just that much better down the middle. And we'll see if there are any other pending transactions from Binghamton as it relates to that one, but Prowlers may see Kyle Steffen in the lineup for his season debut this upcoming weekend when Port Huron visits Binghamton for a 2-game set. Well, let's keep it going around the FPHL and take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard. Only one other game going on in the FPHL today, and it's between the Monroe Moccasins and the Athens Rock Lobsters. They have played through 2 periods so far, and they are trading goals. Joe Mack and Danil Glukariev have the tallies for Athens. Yanni Liarakos and Austin Albrecht with the goals for the Mocs. Knotted up at 2 apiece as they get set to head into the third. Of course, here, Scarecrows up 1-0 on the Port Huron Prowlers. And if you want your business's logo on this graphic or any of our other not yet claimed graphics, please do email Chris at phprowlers.com. Prorated partnership deals are available still through the rest of this season, whether again, you want to be on a graphic or a segment here on the PHP network, want something in McMorran Place, on the social media, wherever you want, we can work with you, work within your budget, and try and find something that fits you. And of course, again, these will be prorated prices for the rest of the season, but get your business here on the PHP network. Again, email chris@phprowlers.com for more details. Let's take a look at the stats so far from this game. As, again, it's 1-0 Scarecrows. Prowlers won the shots battle 10-6. Both teams went 0 for 1 on the man advantage, but Port Huron still has 34 seconds on its second power play of the game. As we get set to start period number 2. We'll see if they can get a quick one here at the start of the middle frame and get this game tied up, as both teams are getting set to hit the ice here for period 2. See the Scarecrows out there already. Prowlers getting set in their tunnel to get back out there. Led back out by Bailey Huber, who made 5 saves on 6 Topeka shots in period 1. Danil Brizgalov down the goal crease to our right, setting up. He made 10 saves on 10 Prowlers shots. Again, 34 seconds left on the too many men on the ice penalty being served by Tyler Inlow. See if the Prowlers have enough time to get set up in the offensive zone and get an opportunity here. So far on this power play, Prowlers with 2 shots on net. And Port Huron had the last 6 shots of that opening frame as they peppered Brizgalov in the back half of the period, and Brizgalov was sharp. He made some really, really good saves. We'll see if he can continue to keep the Prowlers out of the net here in the second. Matt Graham getting set for the faceoff as his power play unit will start things off. Seem to be all set to go, and now we will get going. Graham and Koash in for the faceoff to begin period 2, and we are underway. Fired all the way down by Whalen, and Favaro has to chase, trying to spin away from Cam Clark. Left wing side, it's Millette. Walking the blue line, off to Favaro. 15 seconds left on the Prowlers power play. Favaro tried a sharp angle shot that was shouldered out of play by Brizgalov. .11 seconds left to go on this Prowlers power play. We got a face-off in Brizgalov's end. Koash won it back. Whalen looking for one more clear, and he cleared it right into the stands, and that's another penalty. Gordon Whalen in disbelief as he looks up to the crowd here in Topeka. He will be headed to the penalty box, and the Prowlers will get a very brief 5-on-3. Take another look. Whalen, under really no pressure, has fired it right out of play. delay of game against Gordon Whalen. The Prowlers will stay on the man advantage even after Inlow is released from the box.
Topeka will stay on the next penalty kill.
Prowlers look to set up off the face-off. Lockhart to Favaro. Down to Millette. Works up top and now down to Favaro. It's 5-on-4 now. Graham for Favaro. Millette walks in. He shoots, deflected wide. And then net knocked off by Blaisdell. Scarecrows won't be allowed to change here, and we'll get a whistle and another face-off. Blaisdell trying to go after that puck behind his goaltender, and Brizgalov slid back and cut off Blaisdell's progress, and that's why Blaisdell ended up knocking into the net and knocking it off its moorings. Still, minute 38 of power play time for the Prowlers to work with on their third man advantage of the game. Koash able to saucer it all the way down. Favaro for Millette. Wraps it all the way around. Brizgalov came out to try and stop it. Instead, it's Johnson on the far half wall. Trying to get it down towards Millette. Graham pops out for it. Millette got it up high. Lockhart let it go. Hard carom off the backboards, cleared away by Norwinski. Favaro kept it in the zone. Blaisdell able to find it, and Koash clears. Port Huron switching up the power play unit. 46 seconds left on the man advantage. Lockhart drops it off for Anderson. Now Price wheeling in. Price steps around his man. Price with a sharp angle try. Brizgalov the save. Comes back around to Bobby Price. Parsons at the top. Gave it back down to Anderson. Oregon, Price one-timer. Didn't get everything on it. But Brizgalov able to stretch out that left pad and make the save. Oregon in the final seconds of his team's power play. Wheeling up the left wing side. Sends it back, but couldn't find a teammate. The Scarecrows back at full strength. Still 1-0 early stages of period 2. Anderson gets to the red line, fires it all the way around. Fresh off the bench, it's Decumbis, getting it back deep. Gagnon, the first one to hop on it. He'll start up ice. Had his pass cut off by Lockhart. In comes Hakala with James going to net. Hakala shoots and a save by Brizgalov. Rebound leaked out to the corner. Dumped back in by R2 Hakala. Took a funny hop off the door where the Prowlers come out. Gagnon able to get it back around. Favaro for Johnson. Couldn't bring in that pass cleanly. Inlow chasing after Alex Johnson, who gave it away to Koash. Norwinski's shot, kick save by Huber through the traffic. He had Clark screening him right in front. Hakala with Bucell hustling to the net. Got it to Favaro, but off his stick. Pass out to Hall, couldn't be brought in. Millette. Lead pass, Bucell touches it in for Price. Stepping in, turns back. Price to the net, off the crossbar. Not sure if Brizgalov saw it. Bobby Price caught the iron. Hall had his stick lifted. Millette makes a move on Smith. Gets in over the line. Millette trying to cut to the net. Goes all the way around. Stapled to the glass. Prowlers want a penalty here. They thought that hit was from behind on Reggie Millette, who's just getting back to his skates with the puck underneath. Ball couldn't get it out. Millette slowly making his way back to the Prowler bench. Meanwhile, Bazal picks it up in his own end. And now Whalen. Left wing side, cross corner dump. Oregon able to catapult it right back out. 5 minutes gone in period 2. Huber stops it. He'll move it around for Bazal. Couldn't get it out. Papa Petros kept it in. Hakola took a hit. 2 Scarecrows on him. Played to an area. Oregon chases after in his own end. Parsons for Oregon. A rink-wide feed was behind Hakola. Comes all the way down. And no icing here. James took a hit. Puck still there. DeCumbis tried to push it down deeper. Anderson looking to turn the corner. Makes a nice move just to keep that puck in the zone. But then he gave it away. Up comes Wilson with Gagnon. Wilson drops the shoulder. Wilson towards Gagnon. And that was blocked by a couple of Prowler defenders. James took a hit at center. Loose puck grabbed by Lockhart. Had it poked off his stick. Gets it right back. Lockhart wheeling in. Lockhart with a nice move, but offsides are the Prowlers at the Topeka line. We'll step aside. Prowlers 0 for 2 on the power play in this period. 0 for 3 in the game. They've gotten close. That close, but still not on the scoreboard yet. Back here in Topeka, still 1-0 Scarecrows. Early stages of period number 2. Prowlers up on shots 11-7 in the game. Each team with just 1 shot on goal through the first 6 minutes and change of this middle frame. It's just been that kind of game for both sides. Let's go, Crows! Of course, the 3rd game in a 3-3 for the Prowlers. 4th game in a 4-5. Not to mention all the illness that's been going around the room. Good to see Reggie Millette back out there after taking that hard hit on his last shift. Bucell will center him and Price just as soon as Robbie Nichols is done with the referee. Tonight's referees, Ryan Bray and Jesse Burns. The linesmen, Trent Giroux and Dillian Dale. Norwinski, a rink-wide feed. That was knocked back. Price trying to swoop in for that puck. Ends up in the near side corner. Norwinski pushed it up in Lynn's direction. Connor Lind, one of a couple Scarecrows defensemen who appear to be playing forward here tonight. Lynn's been playing forward all weekend. Jordan Gagnon also seems to be playing forward, at least for some of his shifts. Here's Millette dancing around the top of the zone. Couldn't get that one through to the net. Parsons able to flag it down. Norwinski off the glass and out. Lockhart bumps it right back up to Bucell, but his pass ended up on Blaisdell's stick. Norwinski for Koash. Long lead pass tipped in by Lind. And Topeka will get a change. Here comes Parsons. Looking to Decumbus. That one out of his reach. And icing called against the Prowlers. And the sluggish Sunday affair continues with a draw all the way back in the Prowlers' end. Off this face-off, Parsons tied up with Smith. All knocks down Lockhart, who's trying to come in and join the scrum. Lockhart ends up with the puck, chased by Hall. Lockhart blew a tire. Hall centering feed, and Huber able to make the stop on Smith, who was right on the doorstep. Anderson sent it to Graham fresh off the bench. Graham shoots, glove down by Danil Brizgalov. Matt Graham trying to extend his team-high goals lead. Looking for his 9th of the year, and Brizgalov able to reach up with the glove. Seen a lot of Brizgalov's glove, certainly this weekend. Between last night and tonight. Off the draw, Johnson drive, and how about another for Brizgalov's glove? And Bazal getting attention from Papa Petros, as well as Brizgalov and Gordon Whalen. Connor Bazal going hard to that net off the shot, and Scarecrows didn't like it. Off this face-off, Johnson just trying to keep it in the zone. Puck sitting on the blue line before it's moved out by Wilson. Gagnon wheeling in on the backhand save. Huber, rebound, popped down the other side. Prowlers clear, and up comes Graham. 2-on-1 with Hakala. Graham shoots, and a save by Brizgalov. Graham almost caught him cheating the pass, but Brizgalov able to reach out the glove just enough to make the stop. Couple players go tumbling in the Prowlers zone. Fans want a penalty. Instead, they'll see Port Huron moving off ice. It's Bazal with Millette on the outside. Bazal across looking for Johnson. Koash got a stick on it on the back check. Bucell pumps it up. Norwinski for Koash. Up to Connor Lind. Got to feed it out in front. Lind grabs it again on the other side. Lind continues to wheel around the offensive zone. Norwinski's attempt towards the net, pinballed around before it was cleared out by the Prowlers, and this will be an icing. Looking for a game day meal, Zip Sauce Burger is located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce Burger, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. Off the face-off, Smith with a quick shot that's gloved down and held by Huber. Off the draw, Huber with a quick save. Corey Checo wraps it all the way around to Blaisdell. Smith. And got past Blaisdell at the point. Under duress from Decumbus. Blaisdell, D-to-D to Norwinski. Dumped in, Smith catches on the other side. Has to deal with Parsons. Moore comes in and throws a check. 3 Prowlers, 2 Scarecrows digging away at that puck. Pushed up the wall. Favaro able to skate out with it. Able to muscle off Checo. Here's DeCumbis. Floated back towards the net. Anderson trying to dig it out of Papapetros' skates. Anderson all the way around. On his backhand, Brizgalov dove out to cover up. And now DeCumbis and Papapetros getting into it. Avery Smith comes over to grab DeCumbis. And those two continuing to exchange shoves. Linesman in between them. And they are telling Avery Smith he has to go back to his bench here. Avery Smith came in to grab DeCumbis. And that continued to escalate. Both DeCumbis and Smith are heading to the penalty box. We will head to a timeout and try and figure it all out by the time we get back here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Topeka, right now looks like there'll be a Prowlers power play as both DeCumbis and Papapetros seem to get matching penalties, and Avery Smith the extra 2 for joining that scrum. See, DeCumbis and Papapetros, the first 2 involved, and then Smith came over to join it, and then Smith and DeCumbis, of course, having an extended conversation after, and Avery Smith did just a bit too much. The Prowlers are their 4th power play of this game. They're 0 for 3. See if they can get something going on the man advantage, an area Port Huron has struggled the past month or so. Millette trying to wheel his way up. Got it off to Johnson. Graham bats it down to Millette. Wheeling around the circle, down low. Graham at backdoor. Johnson! And either Brizgalov or Gagnon got a piece of that one as they blow it dead because the puck landed on the back of the net. Not sure if that was Brizgalov coming across or the traffic on the way through. Gagnon was right there. Let's take another look. See, there's Gagnon, and may have hit him before going to the back wall. Brizgalov also tried to reach back to make the save. Off this base up, Johnson to Favaro. Millette up high, Lockhart. Wrister off the back wall as Graham couldn't get a tip on it, and it's fired all the way down. Favaro starts up. Prowlers with a mixed unit out there right now after beginning a change. Millette ran into Favaro, and that drew the play offside.
Offsides.
54 seconds left on this Port Huron man advantage. They'll get the full rest of that other unit out to try and continue and get something going. Off this face-off, Anderson able to steal it away. Anderson, a rising shot, went over top of the net. Oregon right back up to Anderson, but re-entered the zone before Price could exit. That's another offside, just a little bit off on the timing. Let's watch again. Ooh, that was very close. Very, very close. Price was up in the middle of your screen trying to get out of the zone, but either way, the Scarecrows dump it down right off the draw. 34 seconds to go on the Prowlers power play. Still trying to work it out of their own end. Oregon will skate it under duress from Clark. Price weaving in off to Bucell. Down and around it goes. Blaisdell trying to move it up. Parsons took over. Bucell up to Parsons. Anderson floats it to the middle to Oregon. Price steps, looks, shoots, and it's blocked by Norwinski. That will take care of the Prowlers power play. They're still on the attack. Anderson floats it out to Oregon, pinching in. And he got a good shot away, but he just missed it wide. This one catapulted all the way back down. No icing as it didn't reach the goal line. Topeka able to get a full change. Prowlers back in 3-on-2. Pass came through and it got past Hakela. Maybe thought that pass wasn't intended for him. Gagnon on his backhand rows it over top of the cage. And now Hakela moves out the other direction with Bazal. 2-on-4. Hakela throws on the brakes. To Favaro working down the wall. Trying to go back to Hakela. There was a loose stick there that disrupted the play. Johnson took a hit from Lind. Bodies flying everywhere. Scarecrows able to get it out. Papa Petros gets by Hakela with passing options. Tried to feed it in front, hit Huber. So Port Huron survives that attack. James looking for a counter. Got it to Favaro. Has Bazal going to the net. That was poked away. Millette spinning back. Gave it off to Price. And now Bobby Price tries to wheel up. Got it to Millette. Down to Graham with Price. Tried to send it there. And a sliding block by Papa Petros. Came all the way around to Koash as Topeka looks to get on the attack. But a centering feed was blocked by Lockhart. Norwinski able to get there ahead of Price. Lockhart to Graham. Couldn't tip it ahead. Parsons on for Graham. And he lost it in his skates, ended up falling down. Once again, that kind of game for the Prowlers. Koash, backhander in. Huber all the way out in the corner, plays it around to Parsons. Rink wide feed, too far in front of Anderson. Blaisdell gave it up to Lind. Kept it away from Anderson. Hakela now on Lind, forcing him all the way back behind the net. Blaisdell touched it for Clark. They'll get the red line fired around. Under 5 minutes to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. Huber stops it for Johnson. Lead pass, Anderson. Has help coming off the bench, gives it to Price. Price a shot, fought off by Brizgalov. Johnson trying to work down the boards, overskated the puck. And now it's Clark working on Favaro. Clark fed it out in front. Big save, Huber on the backhander by Wilson. And he gets on top of it. And now Wilson drops Price in front. Wilson going after a different Prowler. That's Johnson. Bailey Huber with a huge save on Elijah Wilson. We'll take another look as Clark got it through for Wilson, and Bailey Huber comes up with possibly his biggest save of the game so far. Still 1-0 Scarecrows. We'll take a timeout from Topeka.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Back here in Topeka, 4:15 left to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. And the Scarecrows still with a 1-0 lead. Shots just 15-9 at this point in the game. It's just been another one of those games this weekend where neither team able to get too much going towards the net. Lots of neutral zone play, lots of regroups and things along those lines, but not too much heading towards either goaltender. Prowlers have gotten some high-quality opportunities, hit a couple posts. So take a look at one of those high-quality opportunities. Matt Graham looking for Bobby Price, and sliding block by Papa Petros to get between that pass. As Bobby Price was coming down the back door with his stick down. Here's another opportunity for Price, who Chris Paulin said on Friday night after the game, 29 can take over a game. Price has shown that ability. Here's the save by Huber on Wilson. Ended up coming back to Huber, who covered it up. Price with that game-breaking ability has done what he could. Still unable to get past Brizgalov so far. Here's Graham just sliding it into the offensive zone. Graham still with it. Back pass in front. Nobody home. Oregon tried to return it to Lockhart, who has to chase it down. Up off the boards towards Hakala. Oregon. This time he did get it through to R2 Hakala, who did not get a touch on it though. So icing called against the Prowlers. I'll bring the draw all the way back to Port Huron territory. Gagnon, who's typically a defenseman, will take the draw against Graham. Graham able to win it over to the wall. Oregon wraps it around to Bazal. Bazal looking for Hakala on the left wing side. Chopped it deep. Bazal working up high. Hands it off to Favaro. Fresh off the bench. Favaro stick handles. He scores! Nick Favaro picks the top corner and ties it up. Seventh of the year for Favaro, stick handling through a phone booth between three Scarecrows, and finally able to beat Brizgalov with a nice wrister from the high slot. And we're all tied up in a game that you knew would just take one shot for the Prowlers to get back in it. Despite how sluggish this game has looked, only needed one shot, and they get it there from Nick Favaro, a late second period tally. And they'll try and look for more as Bucell gloves down the clearing attempt. Millette harassed by Blaisdell. Taken in. Millette will have to go to the bench as he lost his helmet. Meanwhile, Hall trying to chase after the puck in the Prowlers zone. Smith passed it in front. Only Jamie Bucell there, and he's wearing the other jersey. Puck pops into the Port Huron bench, and we will get another whistle and another face-off. Nick Favaro's 7th goal of the year gets back on the score sheet after having his 7-game point streak snapped last night. He leads Prowlers defensemen in the goals category. Back in the Port Huron zone, it's Johnson, who leads all Prowlers in assists and points, not just Prowlers defensemen. Anderson working in his shot off a body. DeCumbus retrieves it in the offensive zone. Hall able to skate out with it. There's a heavy line out there right now for Topeka. Hall, Smith, and Checo. A lot of physicality. And the speed of Blake Anderson has just drawn a penalty against Zach Papapetros. So the Prowlers will go to a power play, just over 2 minutes left here in period 2 as see Papapetros getting the stick around Anderson's skates. That's a tripping call. And Gordon Whalen is trying to get onto the wrong bench here. He'll be escorted by the referee to the side he's supposed to be on. Fifth power play of the night for the Prowlers, a chance to take their first lead, and then you see Whalen being asked to go back over to his team's side. Connor Bazzal got the only assist on the goal by Favaro. And as Favaro back out there, part of this power play unit, it's quickly cleared by Topeka.
17:49, period number 2.
Favaro will just take the skating room, pass it off for Graham. Graham works in, he shoots, and a save by Brizgalov. Graham right on the rebound, but he overskated the puck and it's cleared. Favaro looked like he was thinking about a drop pass, but had skating room in front of him, and he just took the free offensive zone entry. Prowlers ended up with a decent chance. Millette back into the offensive end. Up to the line, Lockhart. Tried to make a pass across, cut off by Clark. Working up short-handed with Koash. Clark will just rim it all the way around. Scarecrows getting a change. Halfway through this Port Huron man advantage, Anderson, who drew the penalty, tried to fly back in. Gagnon able to block it. Whalen takes over, takes a look, and got towards Wilson, who touches it all the way down. So we're under a minute to go in period 2. Price, left wing side, passed off for Parsons. Walking in, down to Price. 30 seconds left on the Prowlers power play. But the pass to Bucell, handcuffed and went between his feet. Tim Morgan starting to work his way up. 25 seconds left to go in the period. Less than that on the Prowlers power play. Millette settles things down at the point. Floats it across to Parsons. Wrist shot stopped by Brizgalov with Johnson right in front. Scarecrows back to full strength as Oregon cuts off the 2-line pass intended for Papapetros. 3 seconds left. Gagnon gets to the red line, backhands it in. And we have a tied hockey game. heading to the third. Scarecrows 1, Prowlers 1 through 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal in that second period, favoring the Prowlers 9-5, or at least 8-5, I should say. The FPHL website and the in-arena score clock have it different, but right now, according to the in-arena shot clock, it's 18-11 in shots on goal, favoring the Port Huron Prowlers. Coming up on the intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we will get some highlights and analysis as we send it back to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton. We'll also look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. So don't go anywhere. Lots to break down from this first 40 minutes. May not have looked like much, but Brady Beaton will turn it into a lot so that we can extend this segment throughout the entirety of the intermission. So good luck, Brady. Well, secure your seat for the Prowlers' next home game. That is on Friday, December the 12th. They take on the Indiana Sentinels. Puck drop scheduled for 7:05 p.m. And that reindeer logo, bit of a teaser for you. Prowlers will be wearing specialty Christmas-themed jerseys. It's also the teddy bear toss night, which, if you are new to minor league hockey and you want to know what a teddy bear toss is, you bring stuffed animals or teddy bears, namely, but also other stuffed animals that you throw onto the ice when the Prowlers score their first goal, and all stuffed animals brought and tossed will be donated to local hospitals and other charities for kids in need. One of the great traditions of minor league hockey, and we're excited to have that for you again this season. Again, that is December the 12th, 7:05 p.m. There will also be a post-game jersey auction for those holiday jerseys. You can get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets or call the McMorran box office at 810-985-6166. You can also scan that QR code on your screen now to enjoy the brand new McMorran Place experience. Prowlers trailing and the Scarecrows tied up at 1 goal apiece. We will send it back to our McMorran Place studios when we come back here on the PHP Network.
Come on, guys, hop in.
We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail.
Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat?
I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat.
From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel. shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers theme creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is going to melt. We got to hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Back here on the PHP Network, your Prowlers and the Scarecrows tied up at 1 in Game 3 of a 3-game set out in Topeka. Brady Beaton back here at the McMorran Studios as we take a look at how we've got to this point after 40 minutes of play. It's been a little sluggish, as you'd expect with having a 4th game in 5 days, but it starts off, Bailey Huber makes a strong save to get us started, and, well, it would keep the scoreless, but not for long. A familiar foe to Prowlers or to Prowlers fans, even from last night. Scott Coash, who had 2 a night ago, gets the scoring started. 1-0 Topeka as they take the lead. Here's another look at it. Battle off a couple of defenders. Has that strong lower half where he's able to hold everyone off. And a big save from Brizgalov. Had a big night a night ago, but a strong save into a bit of a scrum. Huber would keep it at 1-0 on a strong backhand effort. You see Huber hugging the post as the score stays 1-0 Topeka, trying to give the Prowlers opportunities. This would be the first of a few power plays for Port Huron. There you see that check into the boards. That's going to draw the penalty. Reggie Millette trying to take advantage of it, but poked away as he gets into the crease. And again, Port Huron still cannot tie it, as it has been all weekend. Tempers flaring after a save, pushing and shoving, and hey, you see each other for, well, going on 9 periods. Now, you're not going to have, it's not going to be the warmest reception, especially when it wasn't on night 1. Here's a too many men on the ice penalty for Topeka. There you see 6 jerseys as the camera pans across. That is as easy of a too many men call as you're going to get for the officials. And Port Huron still down 1-0 as they got ready. The third play hadn't been going, getting ready for a second period where they had some opportunities, just hadn't quite been able to execute yet in this one. But 1-0 after a period, we'd go to period number 2, where the Prowlers continued to pester Brizgalov and the Scarecrows. This one rings off the crossbar. You see it go off the top of your screen. Nearly tied it up there. Instead, stays 1-0. Off the face-off in the offensive zone, a clapper, and that one snagged out of midair. Brizgalov seeing the puck well. And then Topeka to return the favor. Huber to make the save. This time a quick wrister from inside the left circle. and Huber answers the bell. Matt Graham trying to break the tie as his pass to Johnson ends up wide of the net, broken up. I think Gagnon got a piece of it. And it would be Anderson that would try to finally break Brizgalov, and another strong save from him. Papa Petros getting in the way of pucks, and this is a part of the reason why Brizgalov has been so strong. Even last night when he wasn't controlling rebounds great, he was able to rely on his defenders, denies Bobby Price, as Brizgalov has been a brick wall back there, but not quite forever, as Huber answering the bell, gave up the early goal, but another strong toe save, able to get that one out there, denying the Scarecrows in this one, keeping it 1-0 as you still see some action going back. But finally, a shot from in close. Nick Favaro walked it in between the hash marks and finally beat Brizgalov to make it 1-1. And here's another look at it. 4 different Scarecrows in the vicinity, and Nick Favaro puts us at 1 apiece, and that's where we stand here after 40 minutes of play. And you know, anytime you go on the road and you have to play 3-3, it's never easy. The league has tried to get away from it. For longtime Prowlers fans, I'm sure they remember that being kind of a staple. You go all the way back to when Carolina and Columbus first came into the league and the start of the Southern expansion. You'd see a lot of 3-3s. Not as much anymore, but these points count all the same. So yeah, the Prowlers are a little sick, but they're battling much better than they did a night ago. 1-1 game going in, and hey, after everything they've gone through. They played the night before Thanksgiving. Basically, they ate some turkey, got on the bus, went to Topeka, and they get the win night 1. Last night, guys are in and out of the lineup just due to illness midway through. And if they can, at the end of this, take 9 out of 12 points, I don't think there's any Prowler fan out there that's going to say, they need to do more. That's a heck of a road trip, taking 2 out of 3 from Topeka, getting ready for a matchup with Binghamton next week. We'll have more for you on the intermission report when we come back. You're watching Prowlers Hockey here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers Hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers Hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here in Topeka, lights are down, and we are just minutes away from the Prowlers and the Scarecrows taking the ice for period number 3. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And the biggest thing that you could take away from the intermission report and the highlights from Brady Beaton is, despite the low shot totals in this game, lots of quality opportunities on both sides. Both goaltenders have had to be sharp. This could easily be a 3-2 game, something along those lines for either side in the lead. So both goaltenders have been very good tonight, and Prowlers right in there despite everything going on. They are right there, and we'll see if they can pull this one out in the final 20 minutes of play. Let's take a look at what's going on around the FPHL. We get to our out-of-town scoreboard. It's still 2-2 in Athens between the Rock Lobsters and the Moccasins. That one heading to overtime. So each team earns a point, and we'll see who gets that big other point between two of the top teams over in the Continental Division. Of course, here it is 1-1 between the Prowlers and the Scarecrows. And once again, you want your logo on this graphic or any of our other graphics or segments, on the PHP network. You want your logo anywhere around the Port Huron Prowlers social media, McMorran Place. We have prorated partnership deals available for businesses in and around the Port Huron community. So just email Chris at phprowlers.com to get more details. We'd certainly love to have your business on the out-of-town scoreboard. We'd love to have your business on the third period because we do not currently have a partner for the third period. So we'd love to have your business there. And again, we have prorated deals available for those who sign up now. And it's an exciting time to be part of the Prowlers and the PHP network with all the new stuff coming in with the new ownership. And obviously you've seen everything that we've been able to do here on the PHP network. I think the biggest testament to all of our accomplishments was the fact that we were able to get a broadcast to you last night despite me being laid up, unable to move. Back in our hotel room, we had Brady doing it remotely. We had Aiden here, able to run the show from Landon Arena, the Stormontville Event Center here in Topeka. So I think that's really the biggest testament to what we've been able to accomplish is the fact that we were able to have a broadcast at all last night. So much cool stuff. And another big shout out to the entire crew, Aiden, Brady, Sean Detve, Christian Jackson, for stepping up last night in my absence and making sure that you guys had somewhere to watch the Prowlers here on the PHP network. So if you want to get involved, again, email Chris at phprowlers.com and find out your options. Let's take a look at the stats right now for this game through 40 minutes of play. Prowlers currently up on shots 19-11, according to the in-arena shot counter. And the Prowlers' power play may become something that comes back to bite them. 0 for 5 on the man advantage tonight. Their power play had already dropped to dead last in the FPHL, and the special teams have been a concern for Port Huron over the last couple of weeks. And we'll see if they might be able to get that restored here in the third period. But of course, when the power play opportunities are lopsided in that way, sometimes the referees might try and lean one direction or the other. Not on purpose, but they try to even it out, as they say. Again, not on purpose, just human nature, try and make sure everything's fair. So be on the lookout for some Scarecrow power play opportunities, and they have a very good man advantage due to Topeka Scarecrows. Again, Elijah Wilson back in the lineup tonight. Their team leader in power play goals for the third-ranked man advantage in the FPHL. Teams hitting the ice here at McMorran Place. Before we get to period number 3, let's take a quick look. Prowlers' upcoming schedule. They'll be back out on the road this upcoming weekend in Binghamton. 7 o'clock puck drops against the two-time defending champion Black Bears, and then back home on December the 12th and 13th. You can get your tickets for those two games on the phprowlers.com/tickets. Those games coming against the Indiana Sentinels, the start of a 4-game homestand for the Prowlers. Tadil Brizgalov getting set in the goal crease down to our left. 18 saves on 19 Prowlers shots. Bailey Huber in the goal crease to our right. 10 saves on 11 Scarecrow shots. We are all set for the third period. Prowlers starting with a line of Matt Graham, Connor Bazal, and Artu Hakula. As far as I can tell, everybody who started this game still available for the Prowlers, which is more than we could say last night. We're underway in period 3. Connor Lind and Artu Hakula digging away. In low, push to the boards, puck underneath. 3 Prowlers, 2 Scarecrows trying to pull it out. Finally, Hakala able to get the puck moving. Off to Lockhart. Lockhart gets the red line, enters the offensive zone. Dumps it all the way around. Flipped high and out. And Johnson will take over. Bavaro for Millette. Off his skate. And Johnson will regroup back in his own end. Long lead pass has Millette behind Papa Petros. Millette throws on the brakes. Price got it around to Bucell. Working up the boards. Bucell couldn't get it back to Johnson. Here's a 2-on-1 for Topeka. Blaisdell fed it across. They score. Hunter Hall picks up his first as a Scarecrow. And just a minute 11 into period 3, Topeka is taking back the lead. The pass back to the point just didn't work for the Prowlers, and Bucell hustled back but couldn't get there in time as Hunter Hall with his second goal of the year, and again first with the Scarecrows after being acquired from the Baton Rouge Zydeco for 2 players back on November the 10th. And Doug Blaisdell able to end a 10-game point drought as he'll pick up the primary helper on that goal. The Prowlers back to trailing here early on in period 3. Anderson looking to wheel up, ran into a wall of Scarecrows, slipped it through for James. Wrapped it around, Blaisdell, first one there. Backhanded out. Lockhart, off for Parsons. Try to get it back to Lockhart. They got their signals crossed. Clark centered it out in front. Parsons played it off of James's skate. Kept in by Wilson. Parsons chipped it past Clark. Anderson pulls it off the boards. Parsons able to backhand it out. Papa Petros, soft toss in. James after it. And scooped up by Oregon, actually. Goes off to Luke James on the right wing side. Into the offensive zone. James keeps on trucking. Behind the net, Graham pops out. All the cross looking for James and couldn't catch and shoot that one. Back up comes Kowash. Cross corner dump. Flagged down by Oregon. Johnson starts up. Gave it ahead to Graham. He'll dump it in, send Bazal after it. Bazal beats Blaisdell to the puck. Graham tried to push it back to the point. 2 Scarecrows on him. Puck in his skates, and it's flipped out. Favaro wheels back up. Bazal loaded across, looking for Millette. Cut off. Johnson able to prevent Checo from moving up ice. Blaisdell at the end of a long shift got to Checo. He's just able to get it into the offensive zone. Price off for Bucell. Makes a move around Checo. Bucell working on Blaisdell. Took the puck from him. Puck's loose. And Parsons retreats to neutral ice. Millette looking towards Bucell. Drags through. Bucell to the net. And I'm not sure if that got through to Brizgalov or not, as it got caught up in the sliding Blaisdell. Huber with a glove save on the dump in from center ice, and we will get a whistle and a face-off. Early stages of period 3. See, a nice move there by Bucell, and maybe the sliding Blaisdell able to get to it before Bucell could get the shot off. Morick and Clark in on the draw. Or Gagnon, pardon me. Gagnon able to win it away from Morick. Here is Clark, and he ripped it off the glass. Anderson throws on the brakes. walks in, he fires, and Brizgalov got a piece. Tecumseh took a check from Papa Petros. Morick digging as well. Gagnon in there too. Tecumseh tried to pop it out in front. Comes all the way to the point to Favaro. Down and around it goes. Tecumseh works up. Turnaround try. And Brizgalov the save. Morick right there getting acquainted with Gagnon. Both teams will make full changes here ahead of this face-off deep in Scarecrows territory. You see Brett Morick hunting around the blue paint. Off the face-off. Up come the Scarecrows out of their own end. Chipped in, Johnson after it, but from their own side of center. So that's an icing against Topeka. And we'll get another whistle and another face-off. .32 left to go in period 3. Off the face-off, Johnson walks down the boards. Clock does not appear to be working here at Landon Arena. Clock has not moved, still says 15:32. Our clock continues to work here on the PHP network. I don't think anybody's noticed that the clock isn't moving. That's certainly in favor of the Prowlers, who have that much more time to build a comeback. Finally, they get the clock moving. As it's sent all the way down, and Huber stops it for Favaro. Actually backhanded it past Nick Favaro. So here's Millette looking towards Parsons, and that wasn't a clean exchange either. Favaro uses legs, slide it up for Millette. Back the other way come the Scarecrows. Huber to Price. Starts to wheel up. Millette back off for Price. Taking around the outside, and a one-timer from Millette. Closed off by Brizgalov. Bucell getting into it with Avery Smith behind the net. Avery Smith again having to be separated from a Prowler in this game. Not much of a surprise that Millette got a good chance from down below the dot, and Daniil Brizgalov with another save. We will step aside here on the PHP Network.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
.1441 officially on the main clock here at Stormont Vale Event Center, Landon Arena here in Topeka, Kansas. Again, that clock did not move for an extended amount of time. Might be the discussion going on between Gordon Whalen, Jamie Bucell, and the referees, unless nobody noticed. because it didn't seem like anybody noticed. From our count, 31 seconds that did not tick off the clock are still up there. Now they're resetting the clock down to 14:30. So we look at that main clock on the Jumbotron here. $14:30 is what's been settled on for the amount of time the Prowlers have to find a tying goal. Robbie Nichols now having a chat with the referees over by his bench. Head coach for this Scarecrows squad. Continuing that conversation. Again, not sure if that is a clock-related thing. You see TJ Sneath there to Nichols' right, your left. Wonder why Sneath might not be playing tonight. Another one of those top guys for the Scarecrows. Nichols still giving an earful to the official as the puck is dropped. Millette spinning back up high. Got it to the line. Favaro, wrister blocked and tapped out of the zone. Here's Koash trying to spin it down deep, but took a hit from Favaro. High flip out. Flag down by Lind. Koash finds it and chops at it, but hit Bucell, who moves up with it. Millette, left wing side, down towards Bucell. Koash out to Inlow. Floated it across. Lind had it knocked off his stick by Anderson, who kept flying up to the puck. Scarecrows, after dumping it back in, head off for a change. Millette gets in. Sent all the way across by Oregon, and Prowlers will have to regroup. Lockhart lost it while stick handling. But the back pass by Wilson behind Clark. Graham tried to move it ahead. Blaisdell off to the far side. Scarecrows have finally just touched up, so now they can move in and attack. Hakala makes the touch from Bizal. Hakala's shot gloved by Brizgalov. More action in and around the Topeka crease. Artu Hakala looking to get on the board for the second time this weekend. Shots currently 3-2 Prowlers in this third period. That's nearly 7 minutes old. Again, as we've mentioned and as you saw during the intermission report, not too many chances, but quality chances, certainly for both sides. Scarecrows have been opportunistic. Now it's Johnson trying to work it up. Lead pass tipped in by Morick. It was spun down to the ice. Whalen, watched by James, rips it around to Smith. Kept in by Parsons with his glove. Smith off the glass and out. Smith trying to fly right back in, but Hall was still in the Port Huron end, so he had to wait and dump it in. Johnson up to James slowly and fires it all the way around. Bucell fresh off the bench, in hard on the forecheck. Checo working out, gets to the red line, dumps it in. Brett Lockhart back for it. Long lead pass off of Price's skate. Oregon had his pocket picked by Inlow. Inlow at sharp angle try, stopped by Huber. Inlow still on it. Gave it off to Blaisdell. Sent it down low, sticked away by Huber. Bumped around to the near side. Oregon up to Price. Millette circles back with his team completing a change. Hands it off for Alex Johnson. About 11 and a half minutes left to go in regulation. Prowlers trailing by a goal. Johnson got it up to Favaro. Graham on the outside has help going to the net. Try to get it to Millette, and Elijah Wilson able to lift Millette's stick on the back check. Favaro, long lead pass, taken in by Hakala. Up to Graham, looking towards Millette. Has to recollect in the corner. Millette sidesteps Papa Petros. Got to Parsons at the line, and his shot gloved down by Brizgalov. Prowlers with some decent opportunities there, as you see Parsons and Papa Petros having a conversation. You see the last shot there from Parsons. Before that, though, it looked from Matt Graham over to Reggie Millette, who was sneaking down the back side. And Elijah Wilson may have saved a goal there. He has the puck now. Lockhart up the boards towards Anderson. Dumped right back around. Lockhart gets on it. Up ahead to Anderson. Anderson works on his backhand. Blew a tire as he tried to turn back. Smith couldn't get his pass completed. Puck will slide all the way down to Huber. Play it off to the outside. Favaro has to catch back up to it. Hakala touches it for Graham into Favaro. Curl and drag shot off a stick. Graham gets back on it. Hakala turns and fires. Kicked out by Brizgalov. Dumped in by the Scarecrows. Smith wraps it all the way around. Hall lost an edge. Sent off the near side glass. Hakala for Graham. Lateral move at the blue line, got it down deep. Smith just able to chop it out. All the way down it goes, and there is an icing against the Scarecrows. We'll face off down in Topeka's end when we come back past the midway point of period 3. Topeka with a 2-1 lead. We'll be back on the PHP Network.
Discover everything banking should be with Advia Credit Union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with a low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
Back here in Topeka, 9.5 left to go in regulation. Prowlers trailing the Scarecrows by a score of 2-1. Will Wiggleman back with you. Thanks so much for sticking it out with us on this football Sunday. Hope you've enjoyed this action. It's been a tough one for both sides, it seems like. Sluggish play on both ends, but we'll get back to it here in just a moment. The Prowlers are on the ice, so grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Please drink responsibly. Pacheco and Bucell were in on the face-off. Clearing attempt, glove down. Oregon shot got through the traffic. And again, Brizgalov flashes that glove hand. Blaisdell having a conversation with Reggie Millette. Topeka making a change here. Bucell will draw against Coash this time. Off the draw, Price, a shot towards the net. Stopped by Brizgalov, and he poked out the rebound. Price didn't get much on that opportunity. I think it hit a Scarecrows defender's stick. Brizgalov still had a little trouble with the rebound, was able to poke it away before any of the Prowlers could get there. Lind had it knocked off his stick by Lockhart, who was hustling after it. Brizgalov high, flip it out. Graham trying to find it. Got it out to Lockhart. Ahead for Millette, working with Bazal, gave it to him. Bazal trying to go back to the trailer. Graham off a Scarecrows defender. Now a 3-on-2 for Topeka. Lind, back pass. Went behind its intended target. Blaisdell recollects. Long lead pass off a stick, and Johnson gets it up to Millette. Steps to the middle, off to Bazal. Off the back glass it goes. Favaro pinching in. Clark won the puck. Kept alive by Bazal. Favaro trying to move it around. He's tied up with Blaisdell, who goes down to the ice. To a side scrum, they still dig away. Finally pops out for Norwinski. Favaro couldn't keep that puck in the zone, and he touches it again, so offside's called against the Prowlers. 7:46 left in regulation. Tight game here, 2-1, Scarecrows. We are getting into the late stages of it. Both teams have looked fairly sluggish on this Sunday. Both teams looking for 3 big points in the race for second place right now in the Empire Division. Prowlers holding that spot, but Scarecrows, with all their games in hand, certainly in a good place to try and catch up. Of course, you have to win those games in hand, but winning these matchups is that much more important when there's a team with games in hand on you.
Hey, Topeka, let's hear you. Let's go, Scarecrows! Let's go, Scarecrows!
Off the draw, it's punched in by Gagnon. Brett Lockhart, headman feed to Graham. Cross to Brian Parsons. Try to slip it ahead. Price off his stick. In comes Hakela. Goes on the break, sent it towards the cage. Sticked away by Brizgalov. Graham was bearing down on the near side. Price trying to stick handle off the wall. Got it back down deep. Graham trying to muscle his way out in front, taken down by Papa Petros. Anderson on the puck. Looking for some space. Takes the shot, punched out by Brizgalov. Anderson again, flying around, nice move. Anderson lost the handle, puck still loose. Clark comes back to collect. Wilson trying to go back to Clark, hit Brian Parsons' skate. Anderson back for Lockhart. Ahead to Millette. Anderson going to the net. Fired all the way across. Bucell shot. Stopped by Brizgalov. And high flipped all the way back down. Under 6 to go. Oregon ahead to Anderson. Cross corner dump. Blaisdell moved it up the near side. Oregon a drive, and that one sticked to the back glass by Brizgalov. Popped back out to the crease. And out the other side, pushed out of the zone. Favaro lost his man. And Norwinski able to fire it back up to Smith, who's getting back to his skates. Bucell will slow things down in his zone end and start to work up. Favaro waiting for his team to finish the change. Pass was off a stick. Checo off the glass and down. Favaro back off the boards and then fired back around once more. Favaro ahead to Bazal. Played it to the middle of the ice. Lind takes control. Lind on the backhand. Rose it too tall. Bazal this time able to find Johnson. With some skating room, in comes Johnson. On his backhand, got it down deep. Koash shoved by James. This one backhanded out. Prowlers want a delay of game penalty. Not sure if we'll get one or not. Port Huron asking for it. We will find out when we come back here on the PHP Network. That puck did go right out. We'll find out when we come back.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's 1195 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast. That will be Friday, December the 5th, when the Prowlers visit the Binghamton Black Bears. Puck drop scheduled for 7 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 6:45. It's all right here on the PHP Network. Prowlers trying to dig deep here, find something that they might not even know they have in them. This has been a true test of wills this weekend, with everything going on and off the ice. Prowlers have outshot the Scarecrows 9-3 in this third period. Danil Brizgalov has been sharp. We'll keep an eye on Bailey Huber. Probably a couple minutes away at least from seeing him head to the bench for an extra attacker. But you never know. Especially if the Prowlers get a late power play. Have not seen a penalty yet here in the third, as they did deem that puck that went up out of play hit the glass on the way out. Favaro able to pull it off the pile. Got it to Anderson. From a sharp angle, he tried to bank it, and Brizgalov went down. Puck ended up on the back of the net. And we get a whistle in the face-off, and never a bad play to put the puck on net, especially in a game like this. You never know. And Blake Anderson tried it from about below the goal line here. Tried to sweep it out in front, and I'm not sure if Brizgalov was fully on his post there. Another draw down in Topeka's end. face-off. Price a quick shot. And Brizgalov gathers in the rebound and hangs on. Whalen was trying to get in Millet's face. Whalen still chatting with Reggie Millet. They'll get separated just enough to get back to the face-off here. Though they will line up right next to each other. This time, Topeka able to get it out. Millet trying to take the puck away from Gagnon. Whalen closed off by Bucell. Koash around to the near side to Gagnon. Up the boards, only as far as Parsons, but he couldn't keep it in the zone, so the Prowlers have to regroup. Anderson starts to wheel. Anderson gets in. Anderson back pass looking for Bazal, and that hit a Scarecrow. 3 minutes left to go in regulation as this one went up out of play. Prowlers again hoping for possibly a delay of game penalty. I don't think they'll get it. They'll say that Prowler, I believe it was Graham who was coming in with his stick to try and disrupt. I say his stick got it, so no penalty coming. Still stay 5-on-5, under 3 to play. Bailey Huber still in the goal crease. And Checo's been asked to leave the face-off. Smith will take it instead against Matt Graham. Puck sat there for a moment. Graham try to push it up high. Lockhart sent it through. Hit a couple of bodies. Now Graham centering pass. Anderson couldn't get it cleanly on his stick. Brizgalov was looking the wrong way. And Blake Anderson just couldn't get that one in a shooting position. They send back into Bazal, looking towards Anderson. Johnson keeps it in at the line. Got it down low. Anderson trying to leave it for Bazal. Bazal cycles down deep. Blaisdell took it. Kicked along. And Lockhart able to do some hard work to keep it in. Checo just trying to clear his own end, gets it ahead. And a hard hit by Lockhart. He dumped Hall. Back in comes Price. And now they clear it away for Clark on a breakaway. Cam Clark backhand, shut down by Huber. Bailey Huber keeps the Prowlers with a chance in this game as he shuts down Cam Clark on a breakaway for the second time this afternoon. Back in the first period, Clark came in with just a quick shot. Let's take another look at that big hit by Lockhart. Back in the first period, it's just a shot from Clark. This time, tries to fake to the backhand, and Huber stayed right with him. Prowlers look to clear their end off this face-off. It's Millet right in on Brizgalov, who got the blocker down. Popped out for Bucell, rising shot blocked. Oregon down to Price. Huber still in the net as Favaro spins back. Had it taken by Koash. Off the boards, Hakala right off the bench. Able to keep it in. Favaro resets, looking towards Millet. And it's clapped all the way down. And that will be an icing. So we'll see if Chris Paulin elects to use his time out here with 63 seconds left to go. He will send his team out there. Bailey Huber staying in the net. Five Prowlers on the ice. Interesting. No timeout, and interesting as well. Bailey Huber still in his goal crease. And now Matt Graham has officially called the timeout for the Prowlers. Trying to get his team as much time as possible to rest. Well, this has been a slow, sluggish game, exactly what you'd expect from the Sunday portion of a 3-3. Scarecrows with a 2-1 lead. As the Prowlers fighting off illness, shorthanded again tonight, trying to gut their way to at least a point. We have 1:03 left to go, and we'll see if Huber is on the bench when they break huddle. And indeed, it looks like Huber is stepping off, so the Prowlers empty the net. They have Graham, Hakela, Johnson, Millette, Favaro, and Organ. Out there right now, that's the 6. Prowlers have peppered Danil Brizgalov in this third period, and we'll see if they can get a goal here and get to overtime for the first time this season. They have not gone beyond regulation in their first 17 games this season. They've now wound the clock down to 10.3 seconds, which is a full decimal place away from where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to say 1:03. How about 59 minutes? We'll take that. It's a lot of free hockey. 1:03. There we go. And now they changed it to 10.6. So maybe they're changing it to 1:06. Indeed, they do. So the Prowlers get 3 more seconds to work with here. We'll see if they need it. We'll see if it matters. Biggest face-off of the night being dropped between Matt Graham and Cam Clark. Graham wins it back. Prowlers set up their 6-on-5 attack. Favaro for Oregon. Wrist shot swallowed up by Brizgalov, leaves no rebound. Final minutes here in Topeka. I want to remind you to stick around for the intermission report here on the PHP Network. Get highlights and analysis from Brady Beaton in our McLaurin Place studio. Final game stats, locker room reaction, and more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. This one goes all the way down just past the cage, and icing called against the Scarecrows. We'll get another face-off down in Topeka's end. The over to Brizgalov's left. Comes to the boards. Bounces high as Favaro. Let it go and missed wide. Millette hunting down that puck. Oregon couldn't keep it in. And Favaro had it go through his stick. 34 seconds left. Prowlers need to turn up ice. Favaro Off for Hakala. Down Main Street and a glove save by a sprawling Brizgalov. Oh, Danil Brizgalov stretching out and flashing the leather on R2 Hakala. Able to make a huge save. What a move by Hakala. And Brizgalov snatches it out of the sky. Timeout has been called by the Scarecrows here. So both teams will get another chance to draw something up with 25.8 to go. Bobby Price looks to be heading out there for the Prowlers. So we take another look at that Hakala opportunity. And a beautiful toe drag move, and it was heading to the top shelf before Brizgalov cut it down with the glove. Bobby Price will actually step back over the boards. So he will not be part of the same six out there for the Prowlers. Oregon lined up right at the top of the circle behind Matt Graham. And now we have clock complications as a second ran off. Now we'll have to talk about it. Should be 25.8. That's what it was before. We'll see if that's what they end up resetting it to. Right now you see it says 24.9. It's possible they just end up holding it for a second. Conversations continuing with Prowlers alternate captain Jamie Bucell and the officials. They've set it to an even 25. Bucell seems to be fighting hard for that extra .8. And you never know in hockey whether that extra .8 will matter or not. They do finally get it fully reset. The fans here holding their breath, hoping their team can hold out for 25.8 seconds. Rimmed around to the near side. Whalen gets there along with Millette. Favaro keeps it in, floats it down low. Johnson with 18, cycles to Graham. Graham in front looking for Hakala. Poked away from him. A centering pass. Shot was blocked. 9 seconds left to go. Scarecrows able to skate it out. Hakala with a steal. Millette hustling out of the zone. Hakala couldn't get it back in. And that's going to do it, as the Scarecrows take 2 of 3 from the Prowlers this weekend in Topeka. The weekend started off well. Prowlers started 2-0 on this 4 games and 5 nights stretch. But then the illnesses came, and Port Huron cut down by the Scarecrows in these last 2 contests. Your final tonight, Scarecrows 2, Prowlers 1. Once again, I want you to stick around for highlights and analysis on the PHP Network post-game report. Also take a look at the final game stats, locker room reaction as well, and we'll get the report from Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin and our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game. As the Scarecrows saluting their fans here, Prowlers in their prayer circle. We get set for the post-game show here on the PHP Network. Again, we will send it back to Brady Beaton back in our McMorran Place studios. And he will take you through until we're able to get word from the Prowlers locker room, coaching staff, and again, our Gunther Graphics player of the game, who will be Nick Favaro, had the only Prowler goal back in that second period. 2-1 your final here tonight, as the Prowlers drop 2 of 3 this weekend, and they'll have to rest up before heading to Binghamton this upcoming weekend. We, of course, will have all of those games here on the PHP Network, but for right now, I will step aside, send it back to Brady Beaton in our McMorran Place studios for the postgame show. It's coming up next here on the PHP Network.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is going to melt. We got to hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Back here on the PHP Network, your Prowlers fall 2-1 out in Topeka, only get 3 out of a possible 9 points with the Scarecrows as they headed out west. Again, flu bug was going through. They were able to play a little better in their own end tonight, but Bailey Hubers gave up 2 goals, and that was just one too many. We'll take a look at how the entire game went, as it took a little while to get going. That seemed to be a theme all weekend long, when just neither side could really get the scoring started early. Bailey Huber had a big part to do with that, with the save early in the first period, but Topeka and Scott Koash would get on the board here, their first one of the night. One of only 3 total goals scored, and Scott Koash, he had 2 a night ago. He has 1 tonight, and that one goes short side to make it 1-0. Again, it was testy. It never got as bad as it did back on Friday night, but of course, tempers flared a bit as there's a little bit of some scrums early on, but Huber, a couple other strong saves. This one trying to go short side again on the backhand. Huber hugs the post well, keeps it at 1-0 Topeka. Topeka would try and give the Prowlers opportunities. Again, a hit here on the Prowlers gave Port Huron the power play, but the special teams, at least on the power play, I should say, on the man advantage, struggled big time for Port Huron this weekend. Reggie Millette trying to make something happen, and Daniil Brizgalov was just electric all weekend long. Couple of saves here as there's opportunities after opportunities, and this one, a strong save, ends up with a little bit of another scrum out in front of the net. As again, this one just an undisciplined penalty. Too many men there. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Scarecrows on the ice and someone hopping to the bench. Almost 7 men on the ice for Topeka as they take another penalty, but Port Huron can't take advantage of it. That was just the first period. We'd move on to the second period where Port Huron would get their 1 goal in this one as the play continued, but Port Huron down 1-0 after 20 minutes. We went to the second period as Port Huron continued to try to find something and dig themselves out of this hole. They would be able to do it. And again, another high action period. This one almost did it. Rings off the crossbar. You see over the right shoulder of Brizgalov, sends it way away as that one beat him clean, just couldn't beat the iron. And then off the draw, a quick slap shot from Alex Johnson, snagged out of the air. Brizgalov had that trapper working all night long. You'll see that again in the third period. And this time it's Huber on a very similar spot. Quick wrister this time from the left wing circle, and Huber sees it all the way. So both goalies were locking in as Matt Graham passes across, and Johnson, his shot broken up by Gagnon before it could even reach Brizgalov. And then it was Anderson again trying to get this going from the right wing circle, shouldered away, and Brizgalov had himself a heck of a weekend. And it didn't hurt that his defense in front of him, laying out, getting in front of passes. That time it was Papa Petros that got in between the shot. Bobby Price trying to beat Brizgalov, and again, another opportunity by the wayside. But finally, Port Huron, after another save from Huber, would be able to eventually tie this one up. That time, the toe of Huber kept it at 1-0. But then the Prowlers will get their lone goal in this one, working through a couple of defenders, and it's Nick Favaro. He was pumped up to tie the game at 1-0. Unfortunately, the only goal Port Huron would get in this one splits 2 and beats another. And Brizgalov, he is human. He did have a few faults, and this one wasn't a lot. And after 2 periods of play, it was 1-1 in Port Huron. You're feeling like, man, you can get this game. You can get 3 points. Heck, it's tied. Even if you go to the overtime period, you can get 1 or 2 and get more points than not out of the weekend. But going into the third period, it didn't take long for Topeka to get back on top. Early in that period, clean feed across, and from right in front of the crease, Huber didn't really have a chance. Some poor play in their own end, but again, Topeka taking penalties. Prowlers were not short of opportunities as Bucell gets upended here out in front of the net. Anderson again with another opportunity. This one ends up a bit short. He's sitting on the doorstep, and Brizgalov slams it on the near side post. Prowlers trying to find a little bit of energy as Brett Lockhart throwing his weight around. And Bailey Huber, again, I mean, he gave up 2 goals, but played well. He had some big-time saves. Here's one on a breakaway against Clark, and Huber comes out, cuts down the angle, knocks it down, and on a second effort grabs it with the trapper. That kept it at 2-1 Topeka, keeping the Prowlers in it. And here's where it looked like they were going to tie it up. Artu Hakala, and taking it out of midair again was Brizgalov. Hakula, again, thought he was going to pick the corner. And here's the final sequence of the game where it looked like Port Huron, again, might steal a goal right before the buzzer. Last night, even though they were down 5-1, Topeka played the entirety of the last 7.5 minutes in their own end. This time, Port Huron was cycling it through, couldn't really get a clean look here at the end as Port Huron would fall 2-1 against the Topeka Scarecrows. And as Will said, they only get 6 points out of a possible 12 here on this 4-game stretch. They're going to have to rest up. You're going to hear from Coach Chris Paul, and you're going to hear from Nick Favaro, our Gunther Graphics player of the game, and talk about what it's like to go through such a grueling stretch to then come back and rest up and get ready to go to Binghamton, because these are a couple big games against Binghamton. Coach Chris Paulin, before they left for Topeka after the Sentinels win, talked about how he wanted to put the league on notice, how he wanted to show what they were. Well, there's no better stage than going into the 2-time defending champs barn and coming away with some points. More for you here on the PHP post-game show. You'll hear from our Gunther Graphics player of the game. You'll hear from Chris Paulin here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Will Wiggleman back here one final time here at Landon Arena in Topeka, Kansas. Prowlers fall to the Scarecrows tonight by a final score of 2-1. And just moments ago, I got to chat with our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Nick Favaro. With tonight's Gunther Graphics player of the game, Nick Favaro, and you guys have been going through a lot this weekend. You just, without the grisly details, but just kind of tell us about a little bit what you guys have been going through.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bug going around. I know a lot of guys were getting pretty sick. The worst of it was yesterday. But, yeah, I mean, the guys showed a lot of heart. I was kind of lucky where it didn't get to me. But, yeah, the guys battled a lot of adversity. And, yeah, we played hard, just came up short.
Take us through your goal there in the second period.
I mean, Biz made a good play, kind of dragged the guys to the middle and dropped it to me. And then, I kind of made a move to the middle and then just wanted to get it off as quick as possible. And then I think it hit something in front, but yeah, good to see it go in.
How you guys prepared to take on Binghamton next weekend, getting back out there on the road?
I mean, just rest up, definitely get everybody healthy, well rested. But, I mean, same mentality, come ready to play and, expect to win both.
As our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. Thank you.
Thanks.
And that was Nick Favaro's thoughts on tonight's game. Again, one of the few Prowlers to not get hit with that bug throughout this weekend. He certainly was one of the best Prowlers all weekend long. Couple of goals for him. And that, again, includes the one here tonight, the only one for the Prowlers in this game. Also got a chance to catch up with Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin down in the locker room. Here with Prowlers associate head coach Chris Paulin following the 2-1 loss to the Topeka Scarecrows. And Coach, everything going on with your team, how would you rate the effort from your squad today?
Yeah, this was a very interesting week. I've never seen anything like it. Obviously, you were down and out yesterday too. Battled back. We're proud of you for battling back and fighting through it tonight. But yeah, the guys were hurt, and obviously we played short. We had a couple guys that literally couldn't give anything. Like Fetz was out today. B-Way was out. Coop, I mean, he couldn't stop puking enough to even think about suiting up tonight. So, and then the guys that were in, it was a battle. So, and the boys played extremely hard. They stayed together. I thought we had some good growing experiences as a team, older guys and younger guys getting into it a little bit and helping each other. I like that. And I think overall this experience will make us a better team. So I'm really proud of the resiliency and the toughness from the group, because if only anyone knew what these guys were going through, it's crazy.
Bailey Huber gave you some big saves throughout that game. What did you think of his second performance this week?
Yeah, I mean, Hubes played great for us on Wednesday, and then he was not an option yesterday, given the fact he was puking all day, literally. And then today had, of our three goalies, was probably the healthiest. And he gave us everything he had. He played phenomenal. You saw, obviously, we outshot them by a significant margin, but when they had opportunity, they had some grade A scoring chances. The game was 1-0 them in the first period. He stops a breakaway. He played fantastic, and he's, after, a tough start, he's come back. He's worked hard in practice, and he was lights out all week. So we're really proud of him.
All right, let's stop talking about puke and look ahead to next weekend. You got the Binghamton Black Bears heading back out on the road. How are you able to refocus and get back to that?
Yeah, like a lot of good things this weekend. I think Friday we did certain things, especially breaking the puck out, better than we have the entire season. So I thought the guys had a lot to build on. Then obviously today and yesterday under the weather, but I think we did some really good things today too. And I said this after the game, the challenge is we got to keep growing as a team. So the goal is we go to Binghamton next weekend. We're a better team than we were this weekend. So right now we're still young enough in the season. We need to keep progressing and growing as a group. Obviously some of our leaders being out tonight didn't help anything, but the guys that were in stepped up, gave us some big minutes. And their goalie made some saves tonight. But as we go to Binghamton, it'll be a tough test. They're a good team. They're very confident in their own arena. So I'm excited at the challenge of going in there and playing Prowler hockey, which I think the guys in here know exactly what that means. So,
all right, get healthy. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, you too.
And that was Prowlers associate head coach Chris Paulin. Hopefully that is the last time we have to ask him about an illness spreading around the locker room. Before we wrap things up, let's take one last look at our out-of-town scoreboard. One other game went on in the FPHL today. The Athens Rock Lobsters took a 3-2 overtime win over the Monroe Moccasins. Philip Virgili scored the OT winner with less than a minute left in the extra session, so the Rock Lobsters get the extra point in that one. Of course, here Scarecrows take it 2-1. And if you want to have your business's logo on this graphic or any of our other graphics that are yet to be sponsored here on the PHP Network, be sure to email Chris at phprowlers.com for all the details. That's going to do it for us here on the PHP Network. So much thanks to go around. Christian Jackson, our producer and director, back at McMorran Place. Sean Detvey ran the graphics. Aiden Bricker was helping me run things here and was also taking control of one of our cameras here in Topeka. We want to thank the Scarecrows media team for the use of their camera as well. And we want to remind you that coming up on Friday night, December the 5th, Prowlers will be visiting the Binghamton Black Bears. Puck drop scheduled for 7 p.m. The pregame show starts at 6:45. It's all right here on the PHP Network. But for Brady Beaton back in Port Huron, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in on this Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. And we will see you next time right here on the PHP Network.